On Tuesday, Senate Chief Whip and former Abia State Governor Orji Uzor Kalu joined the ranks of presidential hopefuls when he indicated his intention to contest in the 2023 presidential election. Kalu, during a press briefing, said he will match Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former Lagos State Governor and a major contender for the presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress, grit for grit and campaign for campaign for the ticket of the ruling party. According to the former Abia governor, he was ready to contest the APC presidential ticket with Tinubu if the party zones it to the south. Kalu said he believes that the southeast is ripe for the presidency and it should be the turn of the zone to produce the next president, and that should be him. Now joining us to tell us why he wants the top job, his chances of clinching the ticket of the APC, why he seems to be fixated with Tinubu's presidential ambition, and the quest for a Nigerian president of Southeast origin, is Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate and former governor of Abia State. Good morning, Senator Kalu, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Akpati.
Good morning. Well, very quickly, are you in any doubt that the presidency of Nigeria in the 2023 general elections will not be zoned to the south? And that was why we said if your party decides to zone it to the south. Is there something you know that we don't know about the possibility of the APC zoning the presidency to the north or another part of the country? And then, I mean, the fashion these days, the emerging fashion, is for everybody to go to the villa to go and inform the president formally that they are interested in the presidency of Nigeria. At least 2 persons from your party have been there. But you did not go there. Are you trying to snub the president of Nigeria, or you don't think it's a good thing to go and take permission before declaring interest in the presidency?
Thank you, Ruben. First of all, I want to thank you and your crew for this opportunity. Secondly, I would like to make it clear to you, I don't own the party, neither do Bola Tinubu or any other person own the party. This party is owned by Nigerian people, and Nigerian people are the only one which you know that in a democratic setup, majority always have their way. Unless this party zone this thing directly to us. If we go by majority in our next convention, if it's not properly settled and agreed upon, you know, none of us will get it. So this is why I said there is no need to going to talk, I want to contest, I don't want to contest, until the APC National Convention Committee says it's going to go to South. Probably, most highly probably, Southeast. They will need to see a Nigerian president from Southeast. And thirdly, I cannot snub the president. So how can I snub the president, the leader of the party? And you cannot snub a man that sits at the right side of the chair. What I'm just trying to do is to be careful in informing him. If I go and tell him I want to run for president now, and the party did not zone it to where I can be able to go to. I mean, it is not being so nice to myself. I can go and see the president and talk about other things, like I have more important things, pressing problems in the Southeast and part of Northwest and Northeast. As a Senate Chief Whip, I might be going in a couple of days to see him, but not about presidency. So I must also not go with the press. I might just walk in and explain to him things that concerns the well-being of our state, and I mean state of Nigeria. So I am really not afraid of informing Nigerian people. I can come out tomorrow and say from day one I'm going to run, but it's not a reasonable thing to do because we have the party. This party is not owned by me. Neither is it owned by anybody. It's going to be owned by majority of Nigerian people who will be voting and saying they should go south, it should go west, it should go east, it should go north, it should go this. For me, there are only two zones in Nigeria that have never produced president. That's the northeast and the southeast. So let us be careful in what we do. I'm committed to what I'm doing, and you know me, I'm a very committed person. I'm committed to anything I put my heart, I go for it. I don't want to draw the dagger and go back.
Right, thank you, sir. So what we have from you now is sort of a conditional declaration, but let's address the elephant in the room. The fact is that your trial for fraud has been adjourned till March this year. What then qualifies you to run for president with such charges still hanging around you?
No, I don't have any charges hanging around me. It's you, press, that creates what you call charges, and I'm not supposed to talk about matters in court because you should know better that what I went to court to do is not charges. I went to court to ask that some of my assets should be released. That is what I went to court for. I think the court matter is in the court, and I would not like to discuss that matter further because it's still in the court. So I cannot say anything about fraud. But everybody, even you, Ruben, you know me pre-1991, 92, 93, 94. You know I bankrolled everything, all the money politicians paid during that period. You know I was the one who brought the money in the PDP. So how can I become a thief suddenly? I don't want to talk about that. People are pursuing me because they know I want to be president. From day one, they know. So I don't want to talk about that. I have a lot of respect for our court system. And talking about the court system here with me might not look nice. It might be looking down on the other arm of government. I'm in one arm of government. I will not like anybody to look down on the legislature. So I will not want to answer any question further on that. If it's that why you call me here, I am not going to answer further on anything on that at all. So it's a closed matter because it's before the court of competent jurisdiction.
Who are those pursuing you? You said people are pursuing you. Who are those pursuing you? We'd like to know. Who are those pursuing you?
You know them. They are Nigerians who want to be president. They are Nigerians who want to set me aside. They are Nigerians who just want to destroy me. Ruben, you know me. You know me in 1991. I used to come to see Alex Ibru. You know me that you come to my place with the late Ibru. You know where I live in Victoria Land. How many of them were there then? You know me in my office in Apapa, where I used to do my shipping business and import sugar, rice, and all the rest of them. So, you know, a lot of jealousy in the system. A lot of people who think I became very successful at any age. Why must I have money and have power? Is life like that? You know. These people carelessly put me in prison for 6 months for doing nothing.
So
I'm not bitter about it because it's God's will and it's our court system that put me in prison.
So you did nothing about the 7 billion fraud. It's just these people that put you in prison. You did nothing. You didn't do anything. They just put you in prison?
Ruben, there were 19 witnesses in court of competent jurisdiction. Nobody mentioned my name. Nobody called my name. Nobody traced to me. Nothing. I don't want to talk about this matter. Don't drag me to it. I don't want any court to come tomorrow and say that I have gone to contempt of court. So let's stop this matter. If you want to continue with this matter, I might like to excuse myself on that road. If we go to other questions, it will be very pleasing to continue talking to you. I don't want to, tomorrow, these people will go back to a court and say, look at, you have violated the rules of the court. I don't want to do that, please. I have keeping myself within the rules of the court. The court will say, come back tomorrow, I go tomorrow. They say, come back next tomorrow, I go next tomorrow. And I've tried to do that because I'm in Nigeria. I have the competency to stand trial, any trial, because it is the process that a country should test how people obey the rule of law. Thank you.
Well, Senator, just in case the APC decides to zone the presidency to the south and you go through the primaries process and you emerge. What should Nigerians expect from an Orji Uzor Kalu presidency? What will be the priorities of your administration?
To be honest with you, when I was governor, people were not going into Aba. It was a criminal setup there. People, there's something they call Ibu Alhaji. People were not, it was criminalized. My first priority would be to give Nigerian people freedom from terrorism, bandits, anything you call it, from Sahara Desert to Atlantic Ocean. I would like to give them freedom to go to anywhere they want to go, because that is the freedom everybody needs. And I'm capable of doing that. My first priority will be security of our people, life and property. When I was governor, the first thing I did was to clean the place up from criminals. The SSS saw that, the police saw that, the army saw that. From 1999 to 2007, you can leave your car in Abia State. It's free. You can go anywhere. If people will say the truth, they saw it, and they were moving freely. And I went to rescue Anambra State also, to give them a security roadmap that can survive the state. Because my wife is from Anambra State. I have to help the then governor then to put a security system that survive on nature, and they were no-go areas. So I know what to do. Firstly, will be security. Secondly, will be to restore Nigerian people confidence that they are Nigerians and give them the confidence. The youth need the confidence, the elderly people need the confidence, the men and women need confidence to go to United States, go to UK, go to anywhere in the world to say, I'm proudly Nigerian. And that is dress I want to wear. Because confidence is everything. We have lost confidence on where we are coming from. This confidence is number 2 thing we will do. Number 3 is to go back to the commercialized electricity, to make sure that we restore electricity to our people. Once we have electricity, we have everything. Then every other thing we follow. I don't want to talk about roads, this number, but believe me, Ruben, you know me, I will create economic miracle for Nigerian people. This is what we need. We should be out of politics. Politics should be a bygone. I would like, with a good team, to make sure that the bankers, the traders, the industrialists, the students, everybody have feel that they are Nigerians and have feel that we can manage the economy very well. Our formal focus will be on the economy and security.
Well, the clamor for president of Igbo extraction is based on equity and justice, as you've observed several times, even before today. But that clamor also is reflected in calls for anything from restructuring to self-determination to even secession. How would you handle all these yearnings as president of Nigeria?
Well, I'm not going to be, I don't know what you people call restructuring, because what I've always said, there are too many loads in the other hands of the Constitution. I'm not going to talk about restructuring. I'm going to first and foremost, you have to restructure a country when you are safe. I have to first of all face the issue of bandits and terrorism. I have to face the issue of hunger. I have to restore the confidence of the people before talking about. Those are not going to be my basic point. My basic point is go back, get the National Assembly to go back to the Constitution. Then you cannot restructure without the National Assembly. You see, a lot of our people are thinking that we'll just wake up one morning and say we don't want to use this Constitution again. In which country does that happen? We have a union paper called Constitution. This union paper is what is binding all of us together. You cannot come one day and say, I want to restructure this without properly going through amendments. I hear people, the only authority that can do anything that you call restructuring is the National Assembly. I will use the legal way to persuade the National Assembly to do what Nigerian people would like us to do. That is democracy. And that is what I would like to do. I don't want to sit in my house or in my office and be shouting restructuring and no restructuring. I know that the country needs some adjustment. to be able to be profitable. And we are going to look at those things through the National Assembly, through persuasion by their people. And that is the only way Nigeria can be viable to move forward.
You want to run for president. We'd like to know more about you, your credentials, the schools you attended, and secondly, you said you made money at a tender age. How did you make your money?
Well, Mr. Akpati, you know, when I was, excuse me, please. When I was a student in University of Maiduguri, was when I started doing business, buying palm oil, because when I went to Maiduguri, I found out that palm oil is very lucrative in Maiduguri. They don't have it. So whenever I'm back in the house for holidays, I'll buy palm oil. I'll go back. When I'm coming back for another holidays, I'll buy dry fish from Baga in Gamborungala local government and sell. And I started like that, you know, and I moved on to build, to start supplying cables to Chad River Basin Authority. Then I built the furniture company in Maiduguri. And the furniture company was very viable because also all these people in Maiduguri were importing furniture from abroad. And few Lebanese were also doing this business. I entered into the business and became a very big giant on it. And competed with companies like Santana Furniture, that's a large Brima and co. So, and the retired PAMSEC, Super PAMSEC. So I, from there, when there was this war going on to Chad, some border problem between Chad and Nigeria, President Buhari and President Babangida. Buhari was GOC in Jos, and Babangida was Director of Duties of Nigerian Army. He moved from Lagos to Chad. Luckily, I ran into both of them, and this is how I know both of them. And when this war, I started supplying food to the people in the war front there, the soldiers. They had their food rations were supplied by my company. And from there, when there was a problem in the university, and 14 of us were suspended. I wasn't expelled. And I came back. The school authority led by Jubril Aminu called me back. And I said, no, I'm part of the leadership. And the leader must take all kinds of, a leader must be a dumping ground. I said, no, I will not be able to come back unless all of us are coming back. He called me because he was my father's friend. He called me that I will pay a heavy consequence if I don't go back to school. And I said, no, I wasn't going to go back unless all of us go back. And this is the love people from that area have for me. So I continued going back. I went to Lagos to start dealing on military equipment, armament for the military. From there, we ventured to export crude oil and all the rest of this. Is how I started. I started importing sugar, rice, all kinds of commodities in Lagos. By then, my office was in Calcutta Crescent. Aliko Dangote was in the other Creek Road. So we are competitors in rice and sugar. I was one of the largest importers of rice and sugar. If Sani Dangote is here, he was also there with me and all of us. So for me, making money is an act. It's not the money. Then I started building the industries in Aba and Ota. This is how those industries spring up.
Okay, I'd like to...
For me...
Okay, I'd like to ask then, you said you were suspended in the University of Maiduguri. Then what school did you finally finish from? Did you finally go back to school? You know, did you finish up there? And
I finished from
Abia State University. Okay, so you left University of Maiduguri after you were suspended.
I went to government college. I went to first Asiama High School, Aba. And from Asiama High School, Aba, I went to government college, Umaya, where I took my school start. I went to exchange program in Barewa College, Zaria, for 6 months, 1 year. With the holidays were about 8 months. So I went to University of Maiduguri, which on the final year, the only exam I did not take in University of Maiduguri was PS 461 and 462.
Anyway,
I could have graduated from there, but when I was called back, I refused.
Anyway, Senator, many of these details are available online. Many of these details are available online. Let's deal with governance issues. How will you rate the Buhari administration? And how will you rate your successors after you left government, I think that was 2007. You were succeeded by Theodore Orji, and then later we have in place now Governor Ikpeazu. Have they been able to sustain what you left behind, or you feel that there was, there have been problems in that place? And then the Buhari administration, that if things go the way you want, you will succeed.
No, I will.
How do you rate the administration?
Let me be honest with you. Buhari administration have done very well in all facets of his administration. God puts every leader. He brings every leader on his own for whatever reason God wants to do. Leaders and man. But I will rate Buhari administration very highly, because if Buhari did not come in, maybe we might not have Nigeria by now, the way things were going. And honestly, Ruben, why I continue calling you, because you know me personally. You know I'm not a psychopath. When I was living in Lagos, I discussed with you privately. You come to see me, and you know my view. They are very strong about Nigeria. You know I believe in this country. You know I'm detribalized. The Buhari administration have done very well, even in the fighting of the banditry. But we don't have enough resources to fight these people. The issue is not Buhari. The issue is that if every governor is putting their feet down in their state and say, you cannot do this thing here, we will not be where we are. It's not about Buhari. It's also people knowing what they're supposed to do as governors. And I'm not saying they have not. I like Governor Zulum. I like Governor Wike. People might not like Wike. I like him for his ruggedness. I like also Governor of Enugu State. Because, you see, you have to put your feet and say, these people, I don't want you here. If you don't want them, they will not be there. Because the thing starts from the primary area, not at the secondary level. Buhari is just president of Nigeria. When Obasanjo was there, I never needed Obasanjo. There was a day throughout the night, it was a firing point. The present DG SSS was the director of SSS in Abia. So the level of fighting that night with armed bandits in front of government house, I woke up Obasanjo at President Obasanjo, with due respect, please, at about 2:30 a.m. And I was awake with him till about 4:45, and these people were still shooting. So governors need to stand up and fight the war. I'm pleading with them. More of those fights lies with the governors, not with Buhari. Buhari is president of Nigeria. And when you came, when you want to say, you say, you are receiving your money, you are receiving everything. You need to, first of all, those armed bandits, economy is centered on it. If salaries, if everything, industry will take up, because even the industry capacity is very low. It's not Buhari who is going to kickstart your industry capacity. The capacity utilization is very low. The input and output is very low. People always believe they want to import when they have not done anything. So Buhari administration through the central bank have stabilized. I disagree in some policies they've also done. Like the 500 billion was the money thrown to Atlantic Ocean. I've said it before the president. I said it before his late chief of staff. And that one, I don't believe with them. But Buhari have done very well as a president, because to me, people say he hates the Igbos. I don't see that, because the largest investment is done in Igbo land. Most of the things they are doing. He might have his problem with the Igbos. He might have his problem with anything he wants to be. I don't see that. I see a man who is committed for fighting for Nigeria. And wherever he stops, we will choose all those things he have done and modify them and continue, because he has done very well. He's a title holder in my village. I'm a title holder in his village. I'm Dabaiwa of Hausa in Daura. So, my view, I have followed Buhari, not because he's president. People are just following Buhari because he's a president. When he was campaigning ANPP, they locked the stadium. The man that locked the stadium, I suspended him And I brought him back after this. And I went with President Buhari to campaign as governor of PDP. And I made it known to people that this is a family friend. I have nothing to do with his party. But as a former president and a friend of our family and a title holder in Ibere in 2023, I have to come with him to the stadium. And I allowed him to do this campaign. I brought him back. When I left, saw the previous administration in the same place, locked the stadium against him. So for me, APC have done very well. Those of you who are blaming us, we have some imperfections. They are not perfect in the economy. They have not addressed the economy very well, which is where I'm expert that I'm going to address the economy. And President Buhari cannot do everything in one day. He has to adjust here, and move forward. So government is continuous. Wherever he stops, we take over from there and improve on it. And everybody will always say, let my son be better than me. I'm going to be 62 years old in April 21st. And President Buhari is my father. And I will run to be better than what he has done for benefit of all Nigerians. So this is it, Ruben. On issue of those who took over from me, Ruben, you know, if I'm saying this, I'm not a coward. You know, only a few days ago, I was in the house of my governor. And I said it openly. Go it, you will see it. I said to the governor, I will never criticize you or praise you in public. Because I went to see him. I went upstairs and told him things. We came naked. He came naked to me, I came naked to him. I blamed him where he deserved blame. I praised him where he needed to be praised. And I told him I will never tell the press this. And when I came out, the press asked me, what did you discuss with the governor? I said, you know, I can never praise the governor and I can never condemn him in public. I was a former governor of that state. Whatever I would discuss with them, I would discuss inside the room because I was a former governor. It's just like if God helps me, I happen to be the president of Nigeria, you want me to discuss what I saw with President Buhari or what he had done as president. No, I will not discuss it. I will go back to him to Daura, even if it means every 3 months, going to see the president and discuss issue with him. And know, because we must start helping our elders to know that they are elders, so that when they sit, they will still be advisors in the burden of leadership. What is happening in Nigeria is that any president, any governor, any speaker, any commissioner, any minister takes over. Whoever left that office will be his enemy. It's not the way to go. So if the man I left office with handled me as enemy, so be it. And that is not my style, Ruben.
Right. President Muhammadu Buhari would certainly agree with your appraisal of his performance and of governors, because in his exclusive interview last June with Arise News, he said that governors can't just sit back after winning an election and expect others to do the job of security for them, that they're to engage with community leaders and traditional leaders. And he has repeated that point subsequently. What is your take on that and his stance, vehement stance, against state police?
Well, to be honest with you, I was the first. I was the first to tell you, even when I was governor, I have always believed that we should have a state police. I don't have the same opinion with the president on state police. I've always believed that if we have an act, a bill for an act that can convince the National Assembly to amend the Constitution, why not? We could have a police. State police, but we need to put check and balances in those state police. The state police is good and bad. It's very, very good, and it's also very, very bad. So the advantages is like the disadvantages, because if you don't have enough check and balances to check whoever will be the commissioner of police, whoever will be this or that, the governors will do what we are seeing also in local government fund. We never use local government. Local government is supposed to be very independent. So I believe with what President Buhari says, and I seem to be changing my views that the state police is still very good for us. But you need an amendment of the Constitution. I also believe that state governors are not engaging well. Most of the governors don't call stakeholders. When I was governor, I mean, I can say, I don't know whoever, one of my commissioners of police passed out at IG, A.A. Abubakar. Him and Bichi, they were there with me, and they can tell you that we have regular security meeting every week. If I'm not there, the deputy governor will sit in. If deputy governor is not there, the secretary to government will sit in. But we are consulting with them, eating with them, talking about community, meeting with the traditional rulers, meeting with youth, meeting with everybody, market people, finding strategy to keep peace in our state. So unless governors go back to start doing this, they're not going to be a change from what Buhari can never fight for the governors for the security. The problem of security is what is in their hand there. They should go back and do due diligence on security system. On issue, I was trying to explain to you the 500 million naira. On the 500 million naira, I wrote a paper to the late chief of staff, and we discussed it. I even went to see the president. I advised them that instead of using 500 billion naira for social development, it was worthless as far as I'm concerned. First year in 2015, you could have used 500 billion naira. You sent 30 billion to each of the senatorial districts for a businessman to borrow this money at 1%. And they'll borrow it at 1%. It's going to be used for, if it's in Kano Granite, if it's in Abia Palm, if it's in Oshun, Cocoa, or something, all over the 36 states. The first year, 2015, second year, 2016, you do the same thing to the second senatorial district. The third year, you do to the last senatorial district. You borrow it to business people that have land to cultivate, and they will employ people and do agriculture. You borrow them this money directly from central bank. There is no middle bank to do it, so that there will be no stories. So this money will generate and put us back to productivity. We will be able to produce, feed ourselves. In the first 3 years of being president, you will see that Nigeria will be feeding themselves, because they will produce food for our consumption, they will produce food for export. And they will the fourth year, we are going to put small-scale industry with the same way, giving them 10 billion, different businessmen, now to buy semi-automation equipment to be able to produce. This is the only way how we can go back to production. Nigeria must go back to production if we want to survive this system.
Okay, Mr. Kalu, great ideas you've shared as regards starting up production, giving people loans and businessmen. But all of that will not achieve much with insecurity. So take, for instance, if you give an Igbo man in the Southeast 10 billion naira loan. No, hang on a minute. Let me ask my question. If you give an Igbo man in the Southeast 10 billion naira loan and he starts a business in Onitsha, he's faced with the problem of sit-at-homes on Monday. That brings us to the question, what did you discuss with Nnamdi Kanu? And what's your take on the IPOB situation?
No, what I discussed with Nnamdi Kanu is sacrosanct between me and Nnamdi Kanu. It was a private discussion, and I'm not going to tell you. Period. And I'm not going to discuss that with you. This is me, and this is who I am.
Okay,
and
Senator Kalu.
The IPOB case, what's happening as regards that, and how can we bring peace to the Southeast?
Well, there's a court process. The court process have to finish. If we finish the court process, we will now see if we can ask the president for a pardon. Or when people are asking the president for pardon, what are they asking for pardon for? I believe this case is already in court of competent jurisdiction, and I don't want to discuss it. Let the court process take its place. Before, when Nnamdi Kanu was in Kuje prison, I was the one, I don't want to call names, with the top security agent. I went to president to beg him. And he was given a bail. And he nearly took my head. I didn't bail him out, but I was the one who committed my person that Nnamdi Kanu should be. That was when I entered the APC in 2016. I went to the father of Nnamdi Kanu, I went to the mother of Nnamdi Kanu. I briefed them. I said, please, if you can beg him to do his IPOB, but not come outside. I handled the IPOB people when I was governor. I give them the red light. I say, you can carry your flag, you can, but then I see you with arms, I'll come after you. You can say you want Biafra.
Senator.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can carry your flag. You want Biafra, you want this. But you don't kill people. You don't go harassing people.
Well, Senator Kalu,
let me tell you, let me give you one story.
If I may come in here, because we have just about 2 minutes to go. I know, all this. Now, very quickly, do you have any anxieties about certain things that people may bring up when you decide eventually, if you do so, to run for the presidency of Nigeria? Are there certain things that you worry about? For example, your former deputy, Enyinaya Baribe, wrote a book, Made in Aba, A Life of Coincidences. And it wasn't kind to you at all in that book. Do you sometimes feel comfortable that these are things that people can bring up?
No. Those are us. I don't have anything whatsoever. Let me tell you. Apart from this gang up, Ruben, I'm sure you are part of the gang up to put me in prison. Apart from this gang up, I never have any record anywhere. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm only afraid of God. And I'm not afraid of anything. And I'm the most prepared presidential candidate to be on the street. Because even if I'm old, I'm young at heart. I can go with the boys to dance disco in the night. And I can come with the serious people in the afternoon to do the business of government. The most important thing is that the business of unity of country, unity of the nation, and everybody. I'm not afraid of anybody. I've never done any illegal business. I've never done anything that will make me not to sleep. I've never done anything that will make me to be afraid of anybody. It's not true. I've been on the street for a very long time. I know my problem. I know how you guys cause it. You are part of the conspiracy, Ruben. I'm giving it to you back because you know that they conspire against me, and you are part of it. And you are part of it, and continue to be part of it. Well, I will be kind to you when I'm president, so that you will live with and live well. So stop conspiring against me, Ruben. You are part of it.
Well, you can be sure that I'm not part of any conspiracy. But we want to thank you very much, Senator Orji Kalu, for joining us this morning and for being part of the morning show.